So, release, learn, repeat. That's what we do in MobilePay when we build our product. That's what we do when we build our app. And that's what we've done and are doing when we are building our chatbot. And we've been using GenAI from the beginning, started 6 months ago or so. So we are early adopters, I'd say. I also want to, so yesterday we went to a similar event. Some of you were there. And there was two people talking, and one of them said, you are crazy if you don't test everything before you release it to customers. And I'm actually the opposite. You are crazy if you test everything before you release it to customers. So I just think, coming from a product development technology background, we used to test a lot. Now we actually focus much more on what do we want to test. We are doing payments in our company. Of course, when we are talking about transferring money from A to B, we are testing the hell out of it. But in other scenarios, maybe we don't need to test that much. Maybe it's more about understanding when something goes wrong, fix it fast, and get it out with new value. So that's really how we try to work, and we like to share some of that. And of course, I'd like to thank Boost as well for this opportunity. It's a pleasure. Even though, Victoria, I'm not so sure if they like us or not. We are painfully aware. We'll try our best to keep you interested just for a little bit, at least, right? So hopefully you'll bear with us. A quick show of hands. So who in here already have or are using GenAI in their customer service today or elsewhere? So not predefined answers, but LLM. Yeah, hands up. Okay, that's quite a few. So who in here are using GenAI for more than 50% of their volume? Not that many. Okay, that's fine. Interesting. So this is us, my awesome colleague, Victoria. My name is Martin. Victoria has a background in customer service. I have a background in product development. Together, we've been leading this initiative in MobilePay for basically since the start about a year ago. And I want to mention that we love to network. We love to share experiences. So please don't hesitate to reach out, either later today or on LinkedIn. And this is our company, Vipps MobilePay. We used to be two companies, Vipps in Norway, MobilePay in Denmark and Finland. A couple of years back, we merged, and we have this nice orange icon you've probably seen here in Norway, and we have the blue icon with MobilePay in Denmark and Finland. Recently, we launched in Sweden as well with Vipps. So we are one company with two brands, basically the same solution. And what are we doing? We are, simply said, simplifying payments. We make it very, very easy to send money to a friend when you share a pizza bill. It could be receiving money in a store, receiving money on a website, many other cases around payments, basically. We have more than 12 million users in the Nordic countries. We have more than 500,000 businesses signed up with us, and we have more than 3 million daily transactions. I like to think of it as every single second, on average, more than 30 people are opening our app and making a transfer. I think that's kind of awesome. This is our app. That's our main product, our user-facing product. We have a lot of products and services for our businesses as well. It's basically the same app on the surface, but a lot of differences underneath. And of course, all those differences we need to cater for in our chatbot. So it looks simple on the surface, not that simple underneath. Okay, our journey so far. So we're here at Boost Camp today, June 2025. And about a year ago, we've come together as one organization, doing the same ways of working, same tooling. So we are at a point where now we're really able to leverage AI and digitalization in general. So we started looking at what can we do, build or buy. Of course, we signed with Boost AI, probably not a surprise. We started building the integration and the foundation needed for our first chatbot. And we went live in December last year on our Norwegian website. And we started working on the different market specifics we needed specifically for Denmark and Finland. And we went live on MobilePay DK and MobilePay FI. And since then, we've been working on different AI improvements. And of course, we are not done at all. We have plenty of stuff we want to do, still in the beginning. I can mention that it's the same agent or virtual agent or whatever we call it, being used for the different markets as well. So it's more about configuring it the best way. I want to dwell a little bit with this build or buy situation. I know some in here are probably in that situation. Because, you know, I'm sure some of you have been in this situation. I know I have, at least a few times. And for us, I think I've made it clear that we want to move fast. We think that's needed. Our competitor is Apple, and if we want to try to beat Apple, we need to get value out fast to our customers. And what's important then for us was, what's a mature place where we can do that? How can we move fast? We can't build it ourselves, but like if we want to release fast and learn, that's very risky, right? So Boost has a solution that's a mature solution. It's used by banks in the Nordic countries, so we feel like, compliance, that must be taken care of. Our in-house developers, well, we have so much cool stuff to do in our company. Doing plenty of stuff with AI as well. So plenty of other good-looking guys out there, right? So turning this to what we have achieved, what are our results? I want to mention that we are a very small team. It's basically 3 AI trainers and not even full-time. Shout out to Camilla and Fanny here down there, working hard. And I'm really proud of what we have achieved, but we can do so much more. So one angle to look at it is the time spent by our good colleagues in support. And I want to mention that this is not a cost exercise for us. We want to do better customer service. We want to free up their time to do better customer service, or start to doing a bit of sales activities and stuff. We've done that as well. And I also want to mention that we are a growth company. So if we do nothing, we'll have to hire more people all the time. And it goes without saying that's, of course, not scalable. But if you look at this year, we've been live basically this year. We've managed to reduce the time spent by our human agents by 26%. We find that that's a pretty good achievement. But of course, if this alone doesn't tell the full story, what do the customers say? Super important, of course. And we try to look at it at different angles. First off, the most important thing, that's our growth, that's our activity, our people using our products. We have good growth, it's looking good, fine there. Then our brand. MobilePay and Vipps are 2 of the most loved brands in the Nordic countries. So what does people think about when they hear our brands? The trend looks fine there. App reviews, like I said, our user-facing product is the app, so we get a lot of reviews every single day. We look at those, and the trend looks fine there as well. Then there's CSAT, and when I talk about customer satisfaction scores here, CSAT, I'm thinking about what do they say when they talk to our human agents. Do they think we give a good service? And the scores look very good there as well, still. Finally, then there's the actual feedback to our chatbot. And I'll be honest here, we can't really conclude yet because if we don't know exactly what to compare with. So what we focus on here is the trend. We want it to be better and better all the time. People have to give it better scores. So we feel like if we have control of the top 4 ones, and the top one keeps having a nice curve up, we're in a good place. Automation rates, that's another way to look at it. We are live on chat, and we have 52% automation. We don't have any API integrations, backend integrations yet, so we still have room to improve, and we want to. Also the unsolved and so on, we can still do better. And we also only live on chat, even though more than 50% of our incoming traffic is on other channels. So still a lot of potential. Yeah, so that was a bit about what we've achieved. Maybe you can say a bit about how we got there.
Yes. How did we actually manage to get these results? Well, the answer is actually pretty simple. Release, learn, and repeat. That was the title of our presentation. And what do we mean with release, learn, and repeat? Well, it means that we value speed over perfection. We try, we fail, and we talk about it, and we learn together. And that's one of the core values that we have at Vipps MobilePay. And yes, we do run the risk of making mistakes, but the value of real customer feedback is so much better. That's one of the main reasons we decided to go for generative action. It's super easy to get started. You just point the virtual agent to the articles that we already have. The AI trainers then test, update, and improve based on the user feedback. And it's a rinse and repeat process that saves us a lot of valuable time. The other great thing about generative action is that it offers a personalized experience for all of our customers. We, like most of you, love our brand, and we want our customers to recognize the brand every time they're talking to us. So with GenAI, we can point the virtual agent to instructions about, for example, tone of voice, to make sure that our customers are met with the same tone of voice wherever they're speaking with us. We can also use context from users. I brought an example here today about a customer who's not able to pay for a hot dog. And the virtual agent adds an emoji of a hot dog. We think that's kind of fun. But we can also use this by making explanations simpler or more complex based on what the user wants or needs. This allows the AI trainers to focus on knowledge, and we meet customers with a strong and consistent brand every single time. Now, my guess is that those of you that haven't gotten started with generative action are probably sitting on the bench because you're worried. And we all remember when ChatGPT was launched and it was racist. It came with some really weird replies. And that's also my biggest fear, that our agent will come with some really weird replies that we can't stand for. And funny thing about this meme, this was actually sent to our data protection officer when we were explaining the risks of using AI. Our AI is secure and compliant because we use AI to check our AI. And all jokes aside, AI is actually pretty good at controlling AI. We have a set of instructions and guardrails. It's been mentioned several times today. But the instructions are basically prompting the gen action by telling it what tasks it's supposed to perform. So in our case, this is for our brand Vipps. We tell it to use the brand Vipps and to speak in or use the knowledge that's for Norway. The VA will then review the instructions, construct an answer, and before sending it, it has to pass a guardrail. The guardrail listens in on the generative conversation, looking for unwanted behavior from the gen action or from the end user. In this case, we have added 3 guardrails. We have a language guardrail, making sure it responds in the same language as the user is asking. We have a general user input guardrail, making sure that the question the user is asking is actually related to the topics we can answer. And we have a hallucin guardrail, making sure that the VA is only responding based on what we have in our knowledge base. And fun fact is that our hallucination is actually also generative action. But there is no such thing as free lunch. And GenAI is fast, but it's not magic. I want to bring up an example from when we launched in Norway. We decided to go for a virtual agent that could answer our top 5 user cases. Awesome. And we had a super easy transfer to human, just in case it couldn't answer the topic. And we saw an immediate de-escalation of the amounts of inquiries to support, which was awesome. But then when we looked a bit closer at what was the virtual agent actually answering, we had some really weird answers. It wasn't perfect, but the user feedback that we got was more valuable than any of the internal testing that we had done. Because let's face it, the way users ask questions are a lot different than what we think they ask. So I want to go back to the knowledge slide I showed at the beginning of the presentation. This was what we started with, the one on, I guess, your left. And this is what we currently have today. I actually think it's been changed a bit lately as well. But my point is that wording and structure matter a lot. And if the input data isn't clear and organized, then the output data will fail to meet the expectations. Think of it like tying your shoelaces. For most of you here, I guess that you know how to tie your shoelaces, but you wouldn't expect a 4-year-old to know the same thing. GenAI is like a 4-year-old. You have to teach it how to do things. And I don't know if there's any Finns here today. Yes, you guys have a really complicated language. And just because something works in one language does not mean it works seamless in others. So we're still working really hard to get Finnish up and going. And with that said, I want to say we're just getting started. We are looking at lots of solutions for the future, as Martin pointed out earlier. We have a login, or our own login service, that we will be using on our chats and phone calls so that we can authenticate our users and provide even more tailored answers to our customers. We are integrating into the app. We are an app. We have to meet the users where we are. And we're going into our merchant portal so that we can provide good answers for our merchants as well. And as Martin also mentioned in the beginning, we love to connect. So as long as you're not from Apple, we would love to share our ideas and share experiences together. So thank you very much for having us today.